Hey, you brainiacs! Back for more fun theory. Glad you could shamble on over. Seriously, though, we're diving into some seriously creepy shit today. We're talking zombies.
You guys are sick fucks. You know that. Seriously, the stack of emails we got on zombies, like, it's impressive, but also kind of disturbing.
Hey, don't judge. Our listeners know what they like. And apparently they like their flesh rotting and their brains eaten.
Okay, fair enough. But for real, why are we so obsessed with the undead? What is it about these brain-munching monsters that just keeps us coming back for more?
Big questions. But honestly, after going through all the research you dug up, I think we've got some pretty damn interesting answers.
Yeah, like, each time zombies become super popular, it kind of lines up with whatever the hell is freaking everyone out in the real world at the time.
Okay, that's kind of trippy. So,
Yeah.
what, zombie outbreaks are actually just mass hysteria or something?
Not exactly, but remember that article on the Great Depression? All that social unrest and economic collapse?
Yes, super bleak stuff, lots of people struggling to survive. Sounds familiar. Wait, don't tell me.
Boom. The 1930s was when zombie movies first hit it big.
Seriously, way before Romero and all those classics I grew up on.
Oh yeah, total OG zombie flicks. Like there was this movie called White Zombie back in 1932.
White Zombie, huh? Never heard of it.
It's super old school, but it stars Bela Lugosi,
Yeah.
Dracula himself. And these early zombies, they were all about these massive, mindless hordes controlled by some evil puppet master. Kind of reminds you of those breadlines during the Depression, right? Just masses of people shuffling along, hopeless, almost like a visual metaphor for society just collapsing.
Damn, that's deep. So even back then, zombies weren't just about monsters and gore. They were tapping into some real-world shit.
Exactly. And that whole thing about losing your individuality, becoming part of a faceless mob, that gets even crazier during the Cold War.
Ooh, you're talking about Invasion of the Body Snatchers, right? That movie messed me up for weeks. I still check under my bed for pod people sometimes.
Right. It's not just some sci-fi invasion story, though. It's about losing yourself, becoming something not quite human, and that fear. That was everywhere in the 50s, man. The Red Scare, McCarthyism, everyone was paranoid about being replaced.
Damn, that's some serious mind control shit. Like, are you saying we're all just zombies waiting to happen? Is that the takeaway here?
Not exactly, but it's fascinating how that fear evolves from external threats like communists to something way more insidious. Like, what about our obsession with AI these days? Isn't that kind of similar? Losing our individuality to algorithms, being controlled by forces we don't understand. It's like the field just morphs into something new, something even creepier.
Okay, so we've got economic collapse, political paranoia. Sounds like the perfect recipe for a zombie apocalypse. What's next on the menu of societal anxieties?
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till we get to Romero. He takes this whole zombie thing to a whole other level. And the social commentary, dude, it's brutal.
Romero, man. He's like the godfather of zombie flicks, right? But his movies are so much more than just blood and guts.
Totally. Romero was a straight-up visionary. He used zombies to, like, dissect society, all its flaws and, fucked up shit. Like, remember that article about the Vietnam War? How it, like, totally shattered people's trust in authority?
Yeah, heavy stuff. The whole don't trust the government thing.
Yeah.
Romero definitely tapped into that. Big time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. In Night of the Living Dead, it's not just the zombies that are terrifying. It's the way society just crumbles. The military is clueless, everyone's panicking, and in the end, the real monsters are often the humans themselves.
Dude, so true. And it's not just Vietnam. Romero was always hitting on some social issue, right? Like, wasn't there some racial commentary in Night of the Living Dead too?
Totally. I mean, the main character is black, and he ends up getting killed by, like, this posse of white dudes. It's not super in your face, but it's definitely there. Like Romero's saying something about the racism that's eating away at society, just like those frickin' zombies.
Damn, Romero was a genius. He was using zombies to talk about all the messed up shit we do to each other.
Exactly. It's not just monster movies, it's social commentary disguised as horror. And it's still relevant as hell today. I mean, think about it. The distrust of authority, the fear of the other, it's everywhere.
Yeah, we're like living in a Romero movie sometimes, except the zombies haven't shown up yet. Or have they? I mean, have you seen what's happening on Twitter lately? It's like a zombie horde of angry trolls just waiting to devour anyone who disagrees with them.
Okay, maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but I see your point. And the way that distrust manifests in those 2000 zombie films we were talking about, It's fascinating. Like, remember that study on post-9/11 anxieties, all that survivalist stuff?
Oh yeah, everyone was building bunkers and hoarding supplies, convinced the world was ending. Good times. But yeah, how does that tie into zombies?
It's the whole premise of, like, every zombie movie from that era. I think 28 Days Later. Those rage zombies. They were basically a metaphor for the fear of bioterrorism that was everywhere after 9/11.
Whoa, yeah, it's like those infected people just snapping and going crazy. Totally a visual representation of that whole losing control thing that everyone was freaking out about.
Right, and then you've got Land of the Dead, which is basically a giant middle finger to the war on terror and, like, the whole class warfare thing. The zombies are getting smarter, forming their own society, and the humans are holed up in this fancy-ass city, totally oblivious to the rest of the world falling apart.
Damn, that's some deep shit.
Yeah.
And Zombieland, it might be a comedy, but it's also about, like, finding your tribe in a world gone to hell. Chosen family, man. It's all about chosen family.
Right. Finding connection, meaning even when everything else is falling apart, it's like even in the most messed up situations, these films always circle back to the human element, the need for connection, the will to survive. It's almost heartwarming in a super twisted zombie gore kind of way.
Okay, so we've gone from economic meltdown to Cold War paranoia to post-9/11 terror. And through it all, zombies have been there, reflecting all our deepest fears and anxieties. But why? Why are we so obsessed with these flesh-eating freaks? What is it about zombies that just keeps us coming back for more? Like, is it just morbid curiosity or something deeper? I mean, we got a ton of emails about the whole psychology of zombies, right? Are we all just, like, secretly obsessed with death or something?
I don't know, man. I think it's more than just that. Like, remember that article on death anxiety, that whole we're all gonna die thing?
Yeah, super cheery stuff, not exactly light reading.
But it's like zombies are a way to confront that fear, right? In a safe way. I mean, it's like we can explore the idea of death, of losing ourselves, but without actually, kicking the bucket.
You say safe, but some of those zombie scenes are seriously messed up.
Mm.
I still have nightmares about that one scene in The Walking Dead with the, nope, not going to go there. Too gruesome.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe for me, it's more about the control thing, like seeing these characters survive these crazy-ass situations makes me feel like I could handle it too.
That's actually pretty insightful. It's like we're playing out these what-if scenarios in our heads, testing our own survival skills.
Exactly. It's like mental prep for the apocalypse.
Yeah.
And you know that book you sent me about horror movies? It said that watching scary stuff can actually be good for you. Like, it helps you process your fears.
Yeah, totally. It's like a controlled dose of fear, right? And zombies, with that whole relentless, never-ending hunger thing, it taps into something primal, man. That fear of being consumed, of losing yourself completely.
Okay, so we've got death anxiety, survival instincts, and a little bit of therapy thrown in for good measure.
Mm.
But what about this social commentary? Is that just us overthinking things, or are zombies actually saying something about the world we live in?
I think it's both, honestly. Like, yeah, zombies are fun, right? You get to blow shit up, kill monsters, all that good stuff. But they also tap into those anxieties we have about the things we can't control. Pandemics, climate change, economic collapse. It's all kind of like a zombie horde, right? Relentless, overwhelming.
Damn, that's a pretty bleak outlook. So
Yeah.
basically, zombies are like a mirror reflecting all our darkest fears, both personal and, like, societal.
Exactly. They let us indulge in the gore and the chaos, but they also make us think about some pretty heavy shit.
Okay, so here's a question for you, and for all you zombie fans out there. What if a zombie apocalypse actually happened? Would it be all bad? I mean, no more bills, no more work, just you, your shotgun, and a whole lot of brain-dead assholes to take down.
Okay, careful there. That's a slippery slope.
I'm just saying, maybe it wouldn't be all bad.
Yeah.
Like, remember that article about utopian communities? Maybe a zombie apocalypse could be a chance to start over, build a better world.
Wow. Deep thoughts, man. A zombie apocalypse is a chance for a fresh start. Who knew?
Hey, you never know. Maybe those flesh-eating freaks are actually the key to a better future. Or maybe they'll just eat our brains. Either way, it's something to think about. So the next time you're watching a zombie movie or reading some zombie theory, think about what freaks you out the most. What does it say about your fears, your hopes, your idea of what it means to be human?
And hey, if any of you figure out how to survive a zombie apocalypse, let us know. We'd love to have you on the show.
All right, folks, that's it for this episode of Fun Theory. Thanks for joining us on this zombie-infested journey. Stay safe out there, watch your brains, and remember, sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones we create ourselves.